Yes, I have commandeered Craig's office.
Yes, hello everybody. Welcome to our pre-show here at Computer America. We got a great show planned for you. In the second hour, we'll be doing computer technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And in the first hour, we've got the man himself, Mr. Charles Tendell, certified ethical hacker and all-around nice guy. Going to be joining us in the first hour. It's going to be a terrific show, so sit back, relax as we bring to you 2 hours of the Computer America show right here in less than 30 seconds.
What he said.
Computer technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of the Computer America show.
He does that better than me. All right, 10 seconds. Here we go.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers and technology. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And welcome into another edition of the Computer America show. Got a great show planned for you as always. In the second hour, we're going to do computer and technology news. That's brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And in the first hour, yes, he is here with us, the man himself, Charles Tendell, certified ethical hacker, is going to be joining us for at least the first hour. Who knows? We may encourage him to stay longer, but you never know. He's just such a popular guy. But you know what? If you have a comment or question for me or for Ben, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. We'll get you on and get you through. If you don't want to go on the air and you want to ask a question of us, just go to any page at our website, ComputerAmerica.com. Any page there in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see it says Submit a Question. It's a link. Just click on it. It'll take you to our question submission page. You can type in whatever question or comment or suggestion you like. Hit the Submit button. Ben and I will see what you've typed instantaneously. The other thing that you can do is you can also watch our show. Even though we are a radio broadcast, we're in the 21st century. Come on. And we now stream our live video as well. So not only you can listen to the show, but you can also watch the show. You can see myself. You'll be able to see Charles. And also, Ben has the technology to display websites, links, videos, movies, that type of thing. So it makes for a more enriched experience. And you can check all that out at our website at ComputerAmerica.com. Of course, the easiest way is just pick up the phone, 347-884-8881. So we've got all that planned. Ben is at our Carolina home base location now, and if
it's actually kind of annoying. I don't know if you know this, but if any of you are really long-time watchers, you'll notice that I'm actually set up in Mr. Crossman's office, and he has a thing for clocks. I don't know if it's I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but it's weird. Because let's face it, we all have phones, and Craig has watches, and yet he needs a clock everywhere, and all of them are off by about
1 hour. Yeah.
I'm going to say, well, not only just an hour, but I'm going to say about 15 seconds from each other. So whenever it hits a new hour, the whole room, it's like round robin dinging around the entire room, because no one can figure out how to arm all these clocks at the exact same time.
Well, some of them will automatically adjust for daylight savings, but when the government made changes to the daylight savings rule, that kind of all went out the window, and so I have to manually set most of them, and haven't been up there in over 6 months, and so.
Well, I mean, even then, the chime still goes. Like when it turns 2, it goes bong bong. I mean, it's like bong 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 because you have a million clocks.
Well, you are in my office. If you want, you can move to the other one.
I have made it mine. I put the litter box over there in the corner, so I don't have to go to the bathroom every time. and and I've laid some toys around, so I'm entertained. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, exactly.
Lovely.
Well, before we bring our guest on, anything else you want to mention or talk about?
As always, check out computeramerica.com, which I think right now is experiencing some difficulties. So hopefully by the time, if you are time shifting this, it will be up by the time you listen to this. But check out computeramerica.com. It's going to involve all of our podcasts, all of our articles that we write, all of our reviews that we do. Just everything that we do can be found there at that wonderful website. Check out our social media. It's a great way to enter or to win prizes. Given to us by Logitech and other people. I think we are on the verge of having a couple Chromebooks actually to give away on the show.
Yep.
So that we're gonna hype that a bit more, and we will be sure to let you know when we get that up and running. But no, sit back, enjoy the show, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, if you can get on to AIM, I'll introduce our guest.
Always AIM with you. No one had. The last time someone asked me to use AIM was a girl I was flirting with in 7th grade. I mean, that didn't go well either.
No, it didn't. But anyway, Charles Tendell, he, as I mentioned, is a certified ethical hacker, and as a certified ethical hacker, hacking forensic investigator, and information security professional, Charles brings to the table many years of professional experience in cybercrime and investigations, and he has holds certifications accredited by both the Department of Defense and the American National Standards Institute. He joined the U.S. Army as a missile defense crew member, and now Charles hosts his very own radio talk show, Hack, the Charles Tendell Show, heard on radio station AM 1690 KDMT in Denver, Colorado. Charles, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
What's going on, Craig? I'm still getting used to Ben sitting in that seat, though.
Yeah, so am I.
It's
I keep every time he talks, he pops up, and I'm like, wow. All right, now I can totally see Craig. Wait a minute here,
Yeah, the Craig needs to upgrade his chair. That's all I'm saying. It's a little rough on the lumbar. So.
Yeah, well, actually,
Craig, get to work on it.
Okay. Actually, there's a seat cushion that goes in there, but I took that to the Florida office, so that's why.
That explains it.
That explains it. It's the most comfortable. But yeah, listen, we've got a terrific show, as I said, and Charles, a lot's been going on. I mean, there's been the Democratic National Conventions. What was it? Got hacked. Everybody's getting hacked these days.
Not only hacking, but like we brought up yesterday on the show, I also want to bring up another topic that we talked about during our news segment yesterday. That hacking's one thing, surveillance is another. So,
are you talking about the government's new surveillance thing, where they're trying to pass the law to allow them to hack everyone legally?
Oh, so you're up on it? Okay.
Maybe.
So yes, a little bit about that if we have time.
But plus the last episode of Person of Interest, the series finale finished it last night. So I just thought I would mention that since that was
you've been trying to get me to watch that show for years.
Yeah,
years, and now that it's over, I can go and binge watch it. That's the idea. I was just waiting for it to end. So then, because that's how I watch things. I watch them from the reverse, from the last episode, and go backwards. Because if the last episode can get my attention and makes me go, I want to know what really went down here, then,
If you watch the last episode, you'll be totally confused because the things changed over the years. It's like 3 or 4 seasons. So
I only saw one episode of Breaking Bad, and it was the very last episode, and I never went back and watched the entire show. I hear it's a lovely, lovely program. I just watched the last one. I was like, so that's how that ends. Okay, I don't feel the need to watch the whole thing.
That's not even close to the best way to do it. It's like science and stuff, yo. Man, see, if you'd actually watched it, you'd get that reference. But Jesse Pinkman, who I don't even think is in the last episode, is he in the last episode?
Yes, he is.
See, you missed it. You gotta watch the whole thing, man. I mean, you gotta watch the part where what's that guy, Walter White, embraces the fact that he is now like a drug lord. Like he embraces it in a manner, and he's just like, people are getting in his territory, and he
no. I've heard it before. I've heard that it has twists and turns and drama, and and its action and the acting itself is phenomenal. I just didn't. I mean, but this was the same thing happened with Arrested Development. When I saw it on Netflix, I binge watched all 4 seasons or 4 or 5 seasons, and I was like, why aren't more people talking about this? This is wonderful. It's like, oh, that canceled in 2008, and it was like 2015. I was like, Oh, that might be a reason why no one cares anymore.
So sad.
Just
so
like Person
sad.
of Interest.
Huh. Well, I have to see. I have to see it. I mean, Craig's been trying to get me to watch Person of Interest since. Oh man,
You
how
have
many
to watch
years has
from
it
the
been?
first season, though. Otherwise, you'll be totally.
See, the problem is, have you ever gone back to watch the first season of anything? Like, did you go
Yeah,
back? Like, but I know, but like I went back. Like, I'm a huge Star Trek: The Next Generation fan, right? Like, I love Star Trek: The Next Generation, and I go and I tell anyone who's not a Trekkie, right, that yes, the first season of TNG is painful. Okay, but if you can work your way through the first season and make it to season 2,
I like the first season. That was the Far Cry. Was it the
Farpoint. It
Far
started.
Point? Yeah,
Farpoint.
it was a two-parter that had Q in it and everything. That was really good.
It was, but it was like Data was a dick. Riker was confused. Picard was like a rookie captain. Like it was just it was bad. You know, Diana Troy didn't really like what was her character. Like everybody knew that the purpose of her. Yeah, the purpose of her on this ship. Like we had a ship's counselor. What was that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But everybody who watched the first season like asked that question over and over again. I was like, why are you even here? Like I get it. Like there's that one chick whose job was just to repeat the computer on the ship, but your job is to do what? Sense people's emotions on the ship?
Speaking of Star Trek and talking about things that get hacked, that the sad story about the current Star Trek character who got killed by his Jeep SUV. I mean,
Yeah, the car accident.
Who got into a car accident and died?
Ensign Chekhov, the new guy who plays.
Chekhov! Yeah, the new guy.
He thought his car. He put it in park, and evidently it wasn't the electronic shifter. Wasn't in park, and it backed over him. And evidently there's a lot of problems.
Anton Yelchin.
Yeah. I got.
Who's the manufacturer of the car?
Jeep.
It was Jeep. I was going to say I hope it's not Mitsubishi because I think we talked about it. We talked about it over on my show.
Yeah, about the hacking.
About getting hacked.
Yeah, these cars are no longer, mechanical. I mean, or electromechanical. I mean, they're computers on wheels, and
they are.
Everything is done. Even the shifting, everything is done by computer software and everything. It's just a terrible situation. Cars are. His car didn't get hacked. I mean, this was just something that was a
An accident, really.
Yeah, an accident.
A sad accident.
Yeah, sad accident. So, what's happening in the world of hacking, Charles? What's going on today?
We are traversing through the existing year of everybody's gotten hacked, and with the fact that the beginning of this year has been loaded with so many large, multi-million account hacks, we're still feeling the residuals from the end of last year, the beginning of this year. So people are still getting hit with stuff like that. Like it's, you heard Mark Zuckerberg got his Instagram or his Twitter or whatever it was hacked because LinkedIn got hacked however long ago. You've got Tumblr and all these other ones that have gotten hacked, but now it's really nobody's hacking anyone anymore. Now it's really a matter of let's finish trolling through this database, and as it's expired and as everybody's gone through it, you're seeing more and more of these fun breaches happening. Like I read was it earlier today, there was Go to My PC got hit. They had a breach because a bunch of their users were using the password reuse attack, so they got hit. Who else does it that got hacked?
Wait, Go to My PC, but there was another a virtual meeting kind of company that like their backend got hacked.
Logmein.
Was it Logmein or it might have been Logmein?
I heard from Logmein because Logmein actually sent me they sent me their release saying we got hacked, we're sorry, and I was like, wow guys, you should probably work on that. I mean, it's really a matter of like right now. It's most people aren't getting hit by the databases getting hit. Most right now people are getting hit by the residuals of all these old passwords. So just two-factor authentication, the life out of everything that you own. So if you can get two-factor on it, use it, and you'll be safer. I myself actually got hit yesterday or today. Maybe it was yesterday. Maybe it was last night. And I'm thinking the guys who did it didn't realize that I am who I am, or maybe I am a target. I don't know. I don't think I'm that cool, but I got the notification because I have two-factor on it, and it was like someone tried to log into your account. I was like, oh, that's cute. I wonder if it's just me triggering it from somewhere else. And then I looked at it and was like, it's Moscow. I'm like, man, somebody in Russia finally decided to hit me.
Well, yeah, I mean, governments. I mean, China has been accused with hacking the government in the past couple of days. I mean,
there's accused, and then there's we know exactly where it came from, and we know, it was the government, Chinese government.
I mean, that's the thing, though. You got to take all of that with a grain of salt. Like we kind of promoted or talked about it or whatever it was. You heard about Guccifer and Hillary, and then the Russians were being accused of doing it, and all this other high-speed stuff. Do you remember, like, not too long ago, the Democratic National Committee or Convention or whoever they were, right, got hit, right? They got hacked and had a bunch of reports and stuff on Donald Trump that got, it dumped on the internet. Well, they're saying that, this high-end cybersecurity company here in the States came out and said, we know it's the Russians, we know it's this Russian cybersecurity group that's doing it. And then 3 days later, the guy who actually did it was like, thanks for the credit, and thanks for giving me more clout than I actually have, and saying that I'm part of this high-end Russian hacking syndicate, because I'm not. I'm just this cat. Call me Guccifer 2.0. And so you got to be real careful with taking what mass media is going to consume and going to dump as far as the security is concerned. Like when they come out and they say, like I hate to bring it up, but look at the Orlando shooter. Right? Within 30 minutes, they were like, and it's an AR-15 that he was using, and then you come to find out, no, it's not an AR-15.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's using a fully auto. No, he's a civilian. He can't buy full autos. So it's really one of those things that when they accuse other governments of hacking, you gotta wait a couple of days before somebody else is gonna actually tell the truth.
Just the other day, we were kind of sitting around watching the news together, my family. And we're like, where did all the good reporters go? Like, I don't want to call out anyone in particular, because
Craig.
I think this is Craig indeed. But
I thought there was a song. Where did all the reporters?
But I think but I think it's like an industry thing where like Tom. I think my mom threw out Tom Brokaw, that the good reporters that ask questions, try to drill down and actually find the answers. They're kind of going away for headliners and like the quick headliners, like just like you said, if you can get it out in 15 minutes, that's going to spread like wildfire.
Yeah, that's actually, and again, thank you guys, because you guys were over on Hacked. You were over on my show, which, by the way, I've actually got some cool tech that you guys should check out that could actually put us all together, and I wanted to talk to you about that on a personal kind of network thing going on. But the some of the things that I've been learning is, since I became the host of my own show, right, and all that's happened, I've become the media, and on one side that looks fantastic. It's like I get press access to everywhere, and people are sending me all this stuff. But then I also get to see the like you can tell which news outlet and how they're going to report something fairly quickly. Like you can see when they get information, they get stuff that should go out. Like we talked, what was it, on my show last week, I talked about Hillary Clinton and the fact that she essentially just hacked the internet by embedding herself with Google and Facebook to control posts and search results and things of that nature. And I talked about all of that, but then you saw how all of the major media outlets got that information and were like dismissing it or like downplaying it, or waited till late Friday night to report it when they knew no one else was going to hear it, or covered it on Sunday so they could check the block on being able to see it. And that's painful. That's destructive. And it's true. I'm like, where have all the good reporters gone? It was a song. It was a song.
I definitely see that. And by the way, the name I was trying to think of earlier, and it wasn't LogMeIn or anything like that. It was a company called TeamViewer.
Yep, TeamViewer got hacked. I don't even know. Did they ever resolve that?
I assume, because we still don't hear about it, or maybe people just lost interest. But yeah, they said that people were using like insecure passwords and account names, but by the wide amount of people that got hacked, they're like, no, this is probably on something on TeamViewer themselves.
Yeah, it was definitely within TeamViewer. And I've spoken to a couple of people in the industry that have come out and said, look. And you know what? I had sources that actually came to me before TeamViewer put it out there, before they actually acknowledged that this is what was going on. But I've had people that came to me and said, no, dude, I've got 10 accounts, 9 of them got hacked, none of them had the same password. That's not what it was. Something in that database was broken. And when they do finally come out about it, they'll get away with it. I mean, I did another story last week on my show about Morgan Stanley. Right, and I'm sure nobody else really knew this one was coming, but Morgan Stanley just got hit with $1 million fine, just $1 million. That's it, all $1 million. To you and I, that's money.
That's a lot.
right?
Yeah.
That's a lot. But you have to understand who Morgan Stanley is. Okay, Morgan Stanley is the other partner in J.P. Morgan, as in J.P. Morgan Chase. So they control half the money in the United States, and they work with every major bank in the United States. They lost 700,000+ records, right? Lost it. Like, they got hit because of some negligence of one of their employees, and he set up his own private server. Who does that sound familiar? And he set up his own private server and got hacked. And all of this data to all of these high-dollar, high-profile clients got leaked out onto the internet. Well, it's been really quiet, and I don't remember hearing about it. Like, I don't remember hearing anything about Morgan Stanley getting hit with this massive breach whenever it happened, or a couple of months ago, or however long ago it was. But they come back and they slap him on the wrist with $1 million, and guess who paid for that? We did. It's nobody really cares anymore. These breaches are going to continue to happen, and all of these companies are going to continue to be like, it's not my fault, I've got insurance. And we're just going to keep seeing them. That's the problem.
And as long as it remains profitable for hackers to do this, this isn't going away. We just had on the show a couple of weeks ago. We had Fire Dragon, Ben, who was saying that we had the CEO of the company on the show talking about the fact that it's really not even the individual anymore. They're saying that they're
of course you have to take that with a grain of salt because Fire Dragon Security works primarily with large clients. So he's very much on the side of protect your clients by protecting your business with good security. Mm-hmm. But a lot of these big hacks that we talk about, they aren't just, oh, well, everyone uses the password 1 with a capital P, so everyone's getting hacked. Most of the big hacks that we hear about are from, backdoors. I think they all stem from the Ashley Madison hack.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, but
well, I mean, if you were to trace back the timeline, this is what I was getting at earlier. If you trace back the timeline, a lot of this is still residual from big data breaches that happened in the past. Ashley Madison was huge, but the usernames and passwords were there. If I can tie you directly to it, can I still use that password anywhere else? And we're only hearing about the ones that the bad guys are screwing up on. Like, we're not hearing about the ones where they're being quiet, they're being stealthy, and they're being like, look what I got. I'm not going to show anything to anyone. I'm just going to hold on to this information and do kind of an advanced persistent threat thing. But then let's drop to a lower level, right? And this is why they're winning and we're flat out losing. This is why in the industry all across the world we're losing. Is all of these people, and even like who's to say, Fire Dragon, even those cats, they're working on the enterprise level. They're working at corporations because corporations have deep pockets that are going to be able to pay them to do security for their systems. Well, drop to the level below that. We're no longer worried about your enterprise data anymore because I can get you to walk in, because I can get one of your employees to walk in malware. So you can spend millions of dollars defending your network against external attacks, but I'm going to create an insider threat. I'm not worried about you. I'm going to go after the general consumer who I know uses Fluffy as their password, or in Mark Zuckerberg's case, ... And then I'm going to just walk my way into so many different infrastructures and so many other places that I can continue to hack you, and you're not going to notice. And then what is your $1 million security program going to do at that point?
I feel like you aren't a fan of multiple attack vectors like the Internet of Things. I know we've talked about on the show before with you before, but now that every light bulb and every car and every doorbell is going to have its own IP address, I feel like you're not a fan of that.
Hey, Craig, can we call Quickset really quick? I mean, if we call.
They're not taking our calls.
Like, oh, hey, do you want to come on the show? What show is it? Computer America. Is that one show where, well, he's no longer here anymore. I'm still not coming. Click.
Yeah.
It's like, no, well, technically, we, Quickset, if you're listening, we have quarantined Charles to his own show. So,
so
you're welcome to come back on our show.
That's what it was. You quarantined me to my own show. Well, I mean, the Internet of Things, and just in that particular scenario, just like I saw a commercial, like I was traveling in California this weekend, and I had a fantastic weekend, and yesterday's show over on the Charles Tendell Show was amazing. So if you can get it, go over to the CharlesTendellShow.com and listen to that one, because it's all about how to get into cybersecurity, right? It's all about how one person can get in there. But one of the things that I saw while I was out there was, did you know Samsung now has this connected refrigerator with a camera inside it so you can see stuff?
Yeah.
Yes.
As soon as, like, I remember I was drinking my coffee that morning. Okay, I was standing in this little condo that they rented out there, and I was standing there and I'm watching the television, and this ad comes on, and I about choked myself. I'm like, wait a minute. One, why do you need a refrigerator with a camera in it that's going to tell you what you need? I get it. We're always saying, do I have butter? You know, in the refrigerator. Like, I got that. I can understand the convenience factor of it. But seriously, you put a camera-connected refrigerator on the internet. Give it 6 months, not even that. Give it another 30 days, and we'll start to hear about people whose, like, refrigerators are now super freezing all of their stuff, or, like, you know, it looks like I had this in there, or people are using the camera or logging into the camera to be able to watch the inside of the refrigerator, and when you open it, I can see you. You know, it's like, just give it some time. Like, people aren't thinking about these things, and you're just making it easier for the bad guys to invade your life.
I feel like the worst scenario of that has already played out, because, you know, one of the first ways that cameras, you know, kind of invaded our life was not in the fridge. I mean, you know, oh, what, he bought whole milk instead of 2%. Wow, what a bad person. But I feel like the iteration before this was the home security camera and the IP connected camera, you know, things that you can log into anywhere. You go to, you know, certain websites, and hey, you know, it's just like a Google search bar, and you can find every unprotected security camera and look at people's houses, look at people's businesses, just find completely unprotected cameras everywhere. And who cares about the fridge? They've already been put in every single home and business.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still traumatized from Quickset.
I'm sorry. They will never return to the Correct Computer America show again. Do you need me to call them and apologize?
No, I called them up and said, "Hey, Quickset, are you there?"
Actually, didn't we just have them on like 3 months ago?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
So
Yeah,
bridges are mended.
I didn't hold a grudge.
They don't hold a grudge. They're good.
Or they forgot.
But either that, it wasn't the same guy. Let me put it that way.
No, this is Computero America, and you've never been on our show.
Computero. This is America Computer?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Bluetooth model.
Oh, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and you know, a little bit behind the scenes, but Computer America almost got a sponsorship deal like a decade ago with CompUSA because the names were so close.
CompUSA, Computer America, Comp America, got it.
Yeah. That almost happened, so that was exciting.
Well, you know, I will know because we remember what happened with CompUSA.
Yeah.
You know.
And then that happened.
Hey, wait a minute. I just noticed something. Wait a minute. Ben, look over your right shoulder. Is there a robotic dog in the corner?
No, that is a Craig, that's your art piece. I don't know.
Oh, it's art.
It's art. It's a little. It's like a little white
It's a little
dog.
plastic thing.
That is a gift from my wife, and it wound up in my office. But,
It's Art Fido.
it's an art fighter. Yes,
It's
it
an
is.
Art Fido.
It's not like an IBO. No. I actually, you know, I bought one of the first IBOs. It's one of the first 15 in the United States, and I've had it for many years. And finally, it was just sitting in a box because it got so outdated. But I actually put it to auction, and I sold it for a little more than what I paid for it, which was like $1,500. So it was a collector's item. So
I mean, it's no Apple One, but
but still, I got my money back, which was nice.
You got your money back, and I mean, you know, didn't we also track down a car? Like you sold a car online or something.
oh yeah,
Oh, that was a while back. Yeah.
I remember that one. So,
the internet is a great place.
White belt buckle.
right? I wasn't gonna bring it up, but you did. So, you know.
It's all. We can talk about my white belt buckle. We can talk about pickled chipmunk. We can talk about anything you want. But
Hashtag thrown under the bus.
yeah.
Wow. There you go, Craig.
Exactly. But regardless, you know, it's there's so much happening in the world. We hear hacking. I mean, that's great for you and your radio broadcast. You know, that's the title of the show. I mean, that's what you specialize.
And you know, not to mix politics and tech too much because politics really aren't our thing. But you know, Charles, I know that you do politics once in a while. But you know, not to mix it too much. But I think the DNC just had a bunch of new leaks. Like before, you said it was like the DNC's research on Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think yesterday or the day before, they
Goose for 2.0.
hackers just released a bunch that was all of the DNC's research for Hillary Clinton.
Oh,
It's
see, I
just
need to go and
released.
look at that one. But I've also seen that they had like the donor list that had Morgan Freeman on it and Steven Spielberg.
They released all of the donor
Yeah.
lists to the Clinton Foundation.
Yep, all of the donor lists, and then a document that they haven't come out and said quite what it is, but if you look at the context of the document, it's the prospects for like it's amazing list. It's like Secretary of State, Department of Security, Department of Interior, the person's name, and then how much they donated.
Right.
And they're not in those roles, nor have they ever been in those roles. So what does that list kind of seem like?
Right.
You know, how much did you pay me, and where do you want to go? But no one's talking about this. Like
Yeah.
this isn't the major headline. Everybody is like, well, let's not worry about that and move on. And it brings it back around to just how much control the Clintons actually have as far as the tech community goes. I mean, like they're in bed with Google, they're in bed with Facebook.
Hey, listen, you're listening to Computer America.
Oh,
We're
yes.
right back with Charles Tendell. Please stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Sometimes, disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Sometimes, disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
That sun. I just saw a cloud waving a white flag. Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Best Tech Totable Power Strip. So you get to the hotel room, and there's only one free outlet hidden behind a desk or dresser or headboard. What are your options? A cool new Best Tech Totable Power Strip has 2 grounded AC outlets plus 2 built-in USB charging ports. Its flat fabric-wrapped cord wears a hook and loop strap, so it takes less room in a suitcase than, say, a short salami. A green LED confirms power, but wait, it gets better. One of those USB ports is Quick Charge 2 compatible, and the other good for 2.4 amps. Bottom line, the Best Tech Totable Power Strip with its built-in QC2 compatible USB port is now officially our new Go Bag traveling companion. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. It is 33 minutes past the hour as we continue on here with Charles Tendell, and who is the host of the show Hacked with Charles Tendell. And yeah, we're talking all things, computer hacking, and I'm sure we're about to get into DEF CON and what is expected to be seen out there. And if you are watching the Computer America live streaming portion of the show, not really too much visuals, but you will see Charles Tendell sporting the original Computer America logo.
Flashback!
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Okay.
Oh,
So,
wait. How does this one make you feel, Ben?
hmm.
Oh, look at that one.
Yeah, that's a nice. That is a nice HUD. A heads up, just not a HUD. It's a lower
It's a
third.
lower third. It's even got the old sponsor and like everything else going on over here. It's pretty cool. Wait, let's see if I can remember what else one did I had. It was
And he brought himself. Kidding. Yeah. The blue screen of death that looked like that is no longer, like, ever since like Windows 8. It's no longer that at all. So, that's good for us. So, but we are now back with Charles Tendell, and we were just talking. Well, I want to say saying in passing, because I think any further into that we're gonna kind of stray too far off topic. But hacking and hacking in general. Any other hacking stories that kind of tickle your fancy, or do you want to get into DEF CON?
well, I think the one that we should actually be worried about right now is, and I know you guys don't want to mix politics and tech too far, but this one is actually kind of near and dear to my heart, and it's the Rule 41 that's going to allow kind of mass hacking around the world. It's basically a law right now that's in Congress right now that, if passed, would give organizations like the FBI, or insert three-letter government agency there, the same jurisdiction around the world, and it would give them the opportunity to be able to literally, you're a person of interest, I can hack your computer. I can get into your computers. It doesn't matter where. If you happen to be essentially RICO'd into a case, I can get more and more information and more data, regardless of how you're connected to it. I can just reach out and force you. Like, I can hack you. Like, I can phish you. I can send you malware. I can do all these other things that make it approved, or make all of this legal, so that I can use that evidence in court against you. And that's terrifying, because context really matters. And if you think for a split second that they're just going to use this information to just catch the bad guys, or they're just going to go after the bad guys, you're nuts. I mean, Edward Snowden spent so much time preaching about this and saying, this is what they have the capability of doing. We need to be worried about it. And right now, I know, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm that guy who just needs to kind of let go of the privacy thing a little bit, because it seems like people really don't care. Like, everybody's got my information anyway. It really doesn't matter. Well, this would give the government the ability to invade your computer. Like, just because you happen to be one of the IP addresses captured in some sort of communication. Like, if I'm a person of interest and I were to send you guys an email, or I'm a person of interest and I'm on your show right now, they could hack you, right? They're going to hack all the information that's on there, and then let's expand it. Anybody that's connected to that might be a person of interest, they can continue to expand. So 6 degrees of separation down the line, they've gone on this fishing expedition to get more information, more data on who's out there and who can get hacked. And oh, by the way, we didn't ask for permission. We didn't have a warrant. We're going to use all this information for all the different things that we want. So, now, I mean, it's just way too deep, and it's going to go as far as phones. It's going to go to websites, to email, to social media. It's going to be all over the place, and it's just going to be bad for us.
And Charles, I'm going to say this right now. You should never give up that fight, because I know a lot of people have, and personal privacy does mean something even in the internet age. So please don't give that one up, because then it's just kind of me in a dark room just saying, no,
it's all by myself.
No, but
can't sleep. The Fed will get me.
Exactly. But like, they've even shown that, like, the tools before this law that is even more so overreaching, like, they weren't always used for their intended purposes. Like, it's always terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna stop the bad guys. I mean, there were cases of, like, the feds using it to track ex-girlfriends, or there were cases that they were using it for people who were for the media who was outspoken against things like this. They've used it for a number of cases that have in no way helped national security.
Exactly.
But when you give them these tools, who can say otherwise? What they're doing is right or wrong. And like, I know that there are, like, the Orlando shooting is so fresh, and these laws are so knee-jerk, but just their implications, like you're saying, it gives them so much more kind of opportunity to search every phone, every correspondence we have on the internet. And it's just weird to me that after all of the reporting that's come out saying that they have investigated this, the guy that did the Orlando shootings, they investigated him twice for people calling the feds and saying, hey, this guy's suspicious. They let him purchase a gun, all that kind of stuff. And I know pre-crime and blah, blah, all that. But it seems like the tools that they have still aren't being utilized to their maximum. So why are we going to give them more information when they can't even handle the information that they already have to even stop something, like this?
And that's true. And that's the other thing is like why are we going to make additional legislation that's just going to it literally does nothing but erode at any level of privacy that you think you might have. Like it does nothing. It doesn't give them any extra capability. It doesn't give them any extra clout. It doesn't give them any extra tools. All it does is give them the opportunity and open it up for a judge to just say you're a person of interest, go hack his stuff. Like it gives them no additional tools. They're already doing it because right now there's law in the books there's a gentleman's agreement, but I think it's also law that every ISP on the country will forfeit and fork over all of your personal information on your internet history, your browsing history, everything that you're doing. That's why using things like private internet access or any other VPN out there is such a great idea because now you take control over it. They can't hand over your personal information. Oh, by the way, you use Facebook? Facebook's the same way. Facebook's in bed with the Fed and is going to hand over your personal information. And clearly, you use Google, there you go. The whole internet now belongs to the Fed. They have all of this information on you. When we, let's go way back. All of this is spawning from Orlando, but let's go further back to that, to the San Bernardino shooting, right? When they screwed up with his iPhone. Right? They messed that up so badly that they had to go out and ask Apple to have them hack it, and they had to get third-party companies to come in and have them hack it to get at 30 seconds worth of information that was probably not relevant anyway.
Right.
They already had his iCloud. They already had his emails. They already had his pictures. They already had all this information. They used it as leverage to say, look, we need to be able to freely get this. And what did they attack then? Encryption. What are they attacking now? The rest of it.
Right. Yeah, they had all the information there. It's just they wanted to use it in court, and they wanted, the cases that usually bring up the instances that, we need access to XYZ information. The cases that bring up the legislation usually aren't the use cases that they're going to use, the new legislation for. I just don't see any value in handing over.
What? Oops.
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 Has Craig been on mute the whole time? You see, this is why Craig brings me on the show. He brings me on the show when he wants a day off. He's like, I'm here in spirit.
I think so. Well, but that's Craig. Thank you for the interruption, anyways, because I was losing myself. Knee-jerk legislation against private, not private security, but private information, private liberties, what have you. Knee-jerk legislation, very, very bad, and it never fails that whenever there is a national tragedy like something that happened in Orlando, inevitably something comes up. The Patriot Act from 9/11 was one of the worst things to happen back then. I mean, it happens so quick, and people, you're right, just they don't seem to either A, they don't care, or B, they don't, they're not informed enough to know that this is bad.
I think it's just the way that they're not informed. I think it's people seem to be like, privacy is a big deal. Privacy is a concern of mine. Although let me tweet about how concerned about privacy I am. They're already putting the information out there, so it's not hitting home. And the only time that it actually hits home to most of these people or to most consumers is when it directly impacts either their bank account or their children. Yeah. When it hits one of those two things, then all of a sudden it's a big deal. Like I was talking about years ago, and actually I think, I don't know whether I was still co-hosting or not, but I think we broke the story, or at least tried to break the story about when what was it? When Black Shades, one of the biggest remote access Trojans out there, got taken down when it got infiltrated by the Fed, and they executed a bunch of no-knock raids around the United States, like a bunch of them. They executed like kids were going to jail, and people were tweeting about it, and my cats were tweeting about it, and nobody cared. Like nobody cared until, guess what? A former Miss America or whoever she was comes out and is amongst the data of people that got hit, and then all of a sudden mass media is like, oh my goodness, we must talk about this, and I'm like, man, guys. Like, nobody seems to care. So unless it directly impacts them, it doesn't matter. So why are people going to be worried about privacy now?
Well, what was it, the story I just said, Anonymous, broke
They're
into
always fun.
ISIS and sent hooked them up to porn sites.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Anonymous
took over
won't
the
get
Twitter
credit for that.
accounts.
Yeah, they won't get credit for that. Anonymous won't get any positive press for that because it's not Anonymous threatens Mayor Michael Hancock with a scandal. Like, it's not sexy enough. When you see Anonymous doing something good, it doesn't fit the narrative of these guys are all bad.
Yeah, it's kind of weird hearing the whole vigilante speech again in real life. Like, it's an actual legitimate speech that the same one that you hear about Batman. It's like, oh, he's a lone crusader and there's no place in a civilized society for exactly for I'm Batman. It's but and then that's what Anonymous is that who says their judgment is better than anyone else's, blah blah blah. But
see, that's the thing. That's something you have to think about with Anonymous, though. Anonymous isn't making a judgment call. The part of Anonymous that's doing these defacements are the part of Anonymous that are the one-offs. These are like Lulsec, if you remember those names. That's who's doing things like this. The part of Anonymous that I support, that I agree with, are the ones that, like, let's go back to what was it? What was the name of that place? Some middle of nowhere town. Steubenville, right, where these two guys like raped this girl. Okay, they were on the football team. They were head stars. They were about to go off to college. This was the big thing in their town because they didn't have anything else to going. The biggest thing was the football team. Well, they got arrested because of their parents, because of their future, because of their career. They were getting the whole story was getting swept under the rug. Well, swing into Anonymous, they hacked them and leaked the information to a major media source, and then all of a sudden it became a national headline, and justice was served on these two cats that raped this younger woman. That's the positive message that Anonymous works on. That's the things that they do that are good. So it's not necessarily a vigilante justice. It's they're trying to do what the Fed was doing. They want to have the optimum opportunity to invade someone's privacy, to be able to give out information and be able to see justice served. The difference is Anonymous targets specific cases, and the Fed wants to target everybody.
That's true. But I also don't think that we should be, handing over all the stuff to Anonymous and whatnot. But okay, so that's hacking, and I'm definitely glad.
Moving on. Yeah.
Moving on. Yes, I'm definitely glad that we got to cover the Orlando stuff. DEF CON. Never been to it. You seem to enjoy it. I understand you're supposed to take everything and put it on a Wi-Fi connected hard drive and walk around the convention, just to as a formality.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what is DEF CON and who goes there, and what are you expecting to see out there this year?
Well, I'm actually going to DEF CON and Black Hat, and I will be out there broadcasting live for both events, so that'll be fantastic. So if you want to check it out, check out the Charles Tendell Show. You can even watch it live like we used to do here. But this year, it's all going to no doubt be about connected cars, drones. It's going to be most likely about people's privacy, and definitely going to be about this huge level of breaches that we've seen, because we've reached an apex now where it's no longer these small breaches, where it becomes like what was it? It was, if you watch documentaries or you watch news or anything from the 60s and 70s, mostly the 70s, you hear about this organization called the Weather Underground, where it got so tedious where there was a bomb every single month or something, every week or something, and people got tired of hearing of it. Well, that is what's going on right now, is people are getting numb to the number of breaches. So that's definitely going to be a huge topic at both of these events. Now, if you're coming to have kind of a hacker experience, right, and you just want to learn as much information as possible, I'd recommend going to DEF CON, okay, because that's just all raw craziness. Do like Ben said, like wear your password on a sticky note on your chest, okay, just to alleviate any misunderstandings there. But and I'm surprised you're not going. All these years in Computer America, you're not going to go?
No, I couldn't even make it. Scheduling and whatnot, I couldn't even make it out to E3, which I really wanted to make it out to. So DEF CON. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure it has lots of good stuff at it, but maybe next year. Maybe next year.
You know what you should do?
What's that?
Should come out to Black Hat and DEF CON and co-host Hacked with me.
That would be very entertaining.
And it's all about tech and politics.
I think I could handle that.
See, I'll talk to your boss and see if he'll let you come.
I think I'd like that.
It would be fun. We're gonna probably end up doing the same thing that I do every year and getting the hack house. It's a house full of hackers with broadband internet. What could possibly go wrong? This year might actually have a sponsoring organization. Which, by the way, if you've got people out there who are interested in getting into cybersecurity from any walk of life, there's an organization called ICMCP. You can check them out at icmcp.org, where they're mentoring new analysts. Like, they're bringing new people in, and they're going to be out at the event at both DEF CON and Black Hat this year. So that's also a big topic that's going to be out there, is how we can build more on this industry. Like, it's cool to be a hacker, right? Everybody's like, it's cool to be a hacker, but it's not cool to be a hacker with zero skill, and we got to get more people those skill. We're definitely going to be out there talking about things like connected cars. I'm really hoping somebody else hacks the Samsung connected smart fridge with the camera on it and has a talk about it instead of me. So it's going to be a lot of good tech stuff out there. And like I said, if you're very corporate, go Black Hat. If you just want to be partying and you know, Ben, I don't really realize how old you are. Are you old enough to drink? You never look old enough to drink.
Ouch. Really? I grew the facial hair, and that was supposed to stop all of this.
I don't know. That's not it. It's not even close. Like, like you still look 12, man. I mean, you've grown. I give it to you.
25, thank you. 25, thank you.
Wow. See, you age well. That's a compliment. See?
It is a compliment. By the way, one of our listeners, a longtime listeners of Computer America, Jonathan, just sent us an email. He says, I just wanted to say hi to Charles. Hi, Charles. So,
Jonathan?
Yeah, he wanted to say hello.
Jonathan from the chat room, if you remember when we had a chat room.
Back when the chat room was there. I remember that. Hi, Jonathan. Long time no see. Thank you for continuing to listen and being a loyal, long-time fan.
Exactly.
And don't worry, Ben, I'm not taking your job. Although,
How about this? I'll start the coup from inside. You take Craig's job.
Oh, I can't take Craig's job.
Don't tell him about it, but we'll work on it.
Okay, so we'll start using code words. Okay, yeah. So all right, so
Apple.
Like coup and takeover. Code words like that, exactly.
The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall.
I think Craig hacked us. Nothing is safe.
Like, oh, it's over. It's over. Craig's like, oh, you want to take my job? Fine.
I wasn't listening. There it is. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, Black Hat, DEF CON. If you can make it out to Vegas, there's going to be a lot of cool events out there. There's going to be, so beyond all of the tech, like beyond all of just the regular tech stuff, there's going to be massive amounts of partying going on. But I recommend, as a pro tip that most people don't get, do not stay in the hotel of the convention. Just don't do it. Like, I'm actually planning on taking my whole rig out there, so my RV is going, so I'm going to be well away. You know, it's going to be like the broadcast area is going to be in a parking lot for me. Like, I'm not even going to mess with these cats. If we get the hack house, that's going to be so far off the strip that you're going to have to catch a cab or an Uber to get back onto the strip, because I'm not playing that. They do have a tendency to hack everything you've got, so if it's got a wireless signal in it, and cell phones this year won't be safe, because the technology has come out for cell phones where now they can use rainbow tables to attack encrypted cellular communications, so they can actually brute force you and kick you off your provider and then connect to them, and then basically the same attack happens with everything as everywhere else. So, just if you're gonna take a phone, take a dumb phone, take a burner phone, or go buy you an Android phone with nothing on it early on, and have like your top 3 people on it. Be like, nope, I've got burner email, I've got burner contacts, we're good. Hack my phone all you want.
It sounds like when Charles Tendell, does a show from out there, it's going to be something along the lines of, "Hi, this is Charles Tendell. We're tailgating out at the parking lot of the 7-Eleven, the next city over from DEF CON. It is exciting out here.
We're actually hovering above it in my helicopter."
And you're going to have helicopter sounds, of course.
On location. On location. So, Craig.
Yes.
Direct us. Where do we go to next?
Well, I don't know. I was just looking from my vast library of sound effects, looking for because I do have a helicopter sound.
Oh man. Couldn't find his helicopter sound.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Craig, you sent me that soundboard. I deleted like half of the sounds. They're all from like 1993.
He sent me a soundboard once. Like I feel like that should be a club.
What?
Yeah.
Like I should make that T-shirt. Craig Crossman sent me a soundboard
Yeah.
T-shirt. You know, be like, oh, you know, because it's exclusive. You have to be highly special to get soundboards from Craig.
You do. You do. There you go, Craig.
That's your helicopter sound.
Very subtle.
We got to work on that.
That's a helicopter.
It sounds like a drone.
It doesn't sound like a drone. I'm not going to say what it sounds like because I don't think we can say it on the air. But you know. Now it's landing.
Well, it's landing. Now it's down on the ground, and that's the rotor slowing down. You keep.
Okay,
No.
Okay.
You need better. If you're gonna go, you need to get like a UH-1, like a Huey from Vietnam,
Yeah.
right? That's what you gotta get. You gotta get one of those.
Okay. But I did know that I had the sound. Anyway, all right. So don't even ask me why I had that.
So he could be like, we're live on location, watching this unfold.
Okay, so so DEF CON, Black Hat, you're going to be going to both, and
Yep.
and
which days are you going to be broadcasting so our listeners know which days to check in on your coverage?
Actually, it's going to be every day that I'm out there for Black Hat. So I'm going to be there for 2 weeks. So I'm going to be there for both events, full days. Yeah. Yeah, right. 2 weeks in Vegas. 2 weeks in Vegas. I'm going to work on my tan. You know, I'm going to try not to be super intoxicated the whole time. You know, I've got some people that I'm going to be meeting up with while I'm out there. So, you know, I'm like I've quit drinking, most of it anyway. A lot of it. Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I quit drinking water too. And now I just stick to the hard stuff.
Now you just stick to the hard stuff?
Yeah. I would be careful out there in Vegas. I don't know if these heat waves are going to continue, but you know.
It's gotten hot. It's gotten hot.
Hydrated.
Isn't it like 100 degrees outside today?
Yeah, 102, and it's going to get up to 111 today.
Let me see. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna make sure that the air conditioner works everywhere I am.
Oh yeah.
I would hope so.
I'm gonna walk around with an air conditioning suit.
I mean, the weather out is really brutal in certain parts of the country now.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, but you know, global warming isn't a thing. It does not exist.
No, the FBI hacked it. That's what they want to do.
They're gonna hack it all. They cover ups on everything.
Yeah.
So what else is going on in technology news? What else? Like you guys did news yesterday.
Yeah, we did news yesterday, and we're going to do news again here in a couple minutes. But if you want to hear about what is coming up, see if you want to talk about it. We have KFC's coming out with a new meal box kind of deal. You know, chicken and fries and whatnot.
How is that technology news?
And now, get this, with a built-in USB charger.
In your
KFC meal box, so you can charge your phones.
Wait.
Yep.
Back the crazy bus up. Like, so you're gonna roll up and be like, yeah, I'd like to get a number 3 original coleslaw and a biscuit, and make sure it comes with the USB charger in it, right? There's nothing wrong. Do you return it? Is it to go? How does that work?
It's made by Watt a box, and yeah, if you're watching the video portion, it's right there. So.
Oh man, this
so
is
yeah, we're
insane.
going to talk about chicken. So prepare to be hungry. We have other things about like Elon Musk is trying to buy one company is trying to buy another. So Tesla is trying to buy Solar City.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And some stuff about FCC and net neutrality. Some cheap televisions from Samsung.
You mean this?
Set the nets.
Oh, do you remember that?
Yeah. Now, we're going to talk about net neutrality and the fact that it was recently upheld in the courts and what the FCC is going to be doing now that they have been emboldened and that what they're doing is legal. So.
Oh, okay.
We're going to talk about that. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the. Oh, you might like this one actually, Charles. Warn anyone you feel is in need of this. But a drug trafficker is going to get 20 years in prison for emails he never sent. If you use Yahoo or Gmail or any of these things, they have this autosave feature, and Yahoo targeted him in particular and found emails that incriminated him from emails he never sent but were autosaved while he was writing them.
Oh man, that's insane. That's man. No, we're gonna get you for stuff that you thought you might do.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Pre-crime.
Well, Charles, I mean, we're coming up to the top of the hour, and what can I say? It's always a pleasure having you on the show.
That's always fun.
And it is always fun, and we're gonna have you back again with us, I'm sure, soon. Maybe when you're out at DEF CON, I'll talk to Ben about maybe co-hosting, doing something with you, or maybe we can do something remotely with you.
Yeah. Always happy to help.
Yeah, always happy. Exactly.
Ben, you got volunteered. How you feel about that?
And again,
my whole life.
Yeah, and don't forget to listen to Hack, the Charles Tendell Show, heard on radio station AM 1690, KDMT in Denver, Colorado. They have their website out there as well, and you can listen to the show. Charles, thank you so much for being with us here on Computer America today. It was a lot of fun.
Right on, Craig. Thank you. And actually, you can get it not only at the KDMT website, but you can also get it at thecharlestendellshow.com, and it's all there. You can subscribe to it, you can podcast it, you can do all those other wonderful things. And I've got my own live stream, which is something that I wanted to talk to you guys about joining because it's really kind of developed into its own little network. So we should talk.
We'll talk. All right, absolutely. We will. All right, Charles, thanks again for being with us here on the show. You have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, we're talking. We're coming up to the top of the hour. We're going to do computer technology news. We got some stories. We didn't even have time to tease any of them, but
yeah, we did. The KFC box, the hacker that sent emails.
That's good. Yeah. All right, that's all coming up in hour 2 of the Computer America Show. We're going to be back momentarily. Please don't go anywhere.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And again, thanks to Charles Tendell. He was here with us for the first hour, and fun as always. Very interesting. We really need to talk to him because there's a lot of things that maybe we can kind of collaborate with. And him, and to see what else we can do.
Our areas of expertise do seem to overlap once in a while.
Yes, that's nice. And it was very nice of him to extend an invitation to you to do that kind of co-host with him. So we'll see what happens there. In the meantime, if you missed any portion of the show, you can certainly listen to it again. We archive all of our shows at our website at computeramerica.com, which just seems to be up and running now. And,
very nice.
Yeah, so you can see that any page there on any of the menu bar that comes up on any page. It's the archives selection. You can download the shows or listen to the archive streams on Apple's iTunes, the Blog Talk Radio Network, the TuneIn Radio Network, the IRN Radio Network. All have archives of the program. SoundCloud, all of them. They're all there at computeramerica.com, the internet home of a radio broadcast. So here we are in hour 2. Now, just a quick update. Tomorrow, we're going to have a best of show. Yeah, it was. We couldn't. It was unavoidable. These things happen. In 25 years, I think there only been about 3 or 4 shows in the history of our broadcast where we had to had to postpone. But usually we have a live show Monday to Friday, but from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern time. But tomorrow will be.
Folks, it's not that we don't have things to talk about. It's not that there aren't things happening, and it's not that 10 hours a week is too much work for us.
No.
It's just things happen.
Yeah, things happen, and so we just have to do it. We have to do what we have to do. But then we'll be back Friday with Nathan Evans, the managing editor of Pop Zara magazine. And that's all going to be coming up on the show this coming Friday. Nathan will be joining us for both hours of the Computer America Show. All right. So we got a lot of news stories to do. I guess we should just start doing them. What do you think?
I think I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do some computer and technology news. Today's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system. Check them out, slimwareutilities.com.
All right, so let us kick off this news segment as we, let's just start off with the one that everyone wants, KFC, and I want to say this is in China only, so folks don't get too excited, but it's still a pretty strange story when you really get down to it. So again, please do the video portion. You will see all the articles and the pictures and movies and promos that are associated with everything that we're talking about. But also you'll see the publication and the author, who are always very, very important. This one from Popular Science and Mr. G. Clay Whitaker. And yeah, KFC meal boxes in India, I said China, in India now come with a built-in USB charger. So yeah, why not? So, of course, the article poses the question, ever wish that your food came with a portable charging station for your smartphone? No, we didn't either. But, of course, someone had to have just that thought, because this is the KFC's marketing team delivered that to customers in Delhi and Mumbai. Reporters are overwhelmingly negative about the charging capabilities of the device, which comes in the 5-in-1 meal box and really rounds out your dining experience with something like a 17% battery boost that takes about half an hour before the device dies completely. So, half an hour for 17% battery over half an hour, not too good. But what were you expecting? What were you expecting for something that was given away free?
Is this the original recipe or extra crispy only?
This is the extra battery boost recipe. I don't know. Again, if you've ever been to KFC recently, the meal boxes is usually like $5. I don't know what it is over in Mumbai and Delhi, but it's just two pieces of chicken, some sides, whatever. I promise we are not paid by KFC. We just really enjoy their food. Yeah. So of course, the article continues on saying that we're still conflicted over whether or not this is the worst thing KFC has ever released. Currently, the KFC Double Down has received the most notoriety for replacing the buns of the sandwich with a fried chicken breast. But it's KFC Famous Bowl that really inspired artists, and they have a couple links to a couple stand-up comedians talking about how the KFC Famous Bowl is the end of society as we know it. I'll be honest with you. I tried the KFC Double Down, and if you hate yourself, it is the best thing I have ever tasted. Yeah. It is right up there with some of the better culinary adventures I've had. The KFC Double Down, I would highly recommend it.
What is the Double Down? What is it?
It's you take a fried chicken breast, and you put on it cheese. I think they use like Monterey Jack cheese, bacon, more cheese, more bacon, some sauce, some KFC sauce, and then they top it with another fried chicken breast.
Oh my god!
So it's just meat, cheese, and sauce, and of course lots and lots of salt.
No buns.
No buns. You pick it up with your hands, and who needs that disgusting bread thing that people have eaten for the past 6,000 years? Well, let's just focus on the chicken, which is what people want. So that's the KFC Double Down. The Famous Bowl, it's everything in a pile that you just shovel in, which is great. But if you really need a USB charge and you are in Delhi or Mumbai, pop into a KFC and it says you get about 17% battery for half an hour, so you might need 3 hours and 6 boxes of chicken, and you'll have a completely charged phone.
Wow,
not bad.
Not bad, yeah, exactly.
Well, I say not bad as in the food. The battery charging capabilities are pretty awful.
Yeah. All right, moving right along to even more silliness. This is from DGR.
Silliness. This is heartbreaking technology news, folks. This is what we get paid to do, is to bring you the latest in hacking, in latest products and gadgets in the tech world, and KFC boxes that charge your phone. This is important.
Well, speaking about phones, an Apple computer, an Apple, really, it's not only Apple computers, hasn't been for a long time, but Apple, Zach Epstein wrote the story, Why the Boring iPhone 7 is the Smartest Thing Apple Has Done in Years. And this falls into the speculation that they're saying that Apple may be changing their pattern. Every year they would introduce a new model phone, and it would have all kinds of new features, and it would kind of,
like it would have all these new features and new software and new hardware, and
Right.
then 6 months, 8 months later, they would release the S or the Plus or the what have you.
Mhm.
But like the main number iterations would always be something either slightly radical or different.
So a lot of people, some of the press is now saying there's some speculation that this year is going to mark the start of a completely new pattern for Apple, and that from now on, redesigned iPhones will only come once every 3 years. Once every 3 years. So when they have, let's say, the iPhone 6, then they'll have the 6S, and then they'll have, the 6S double S or something, or the iPhone 7 will just be an upgrade, really, to the iPhone 6S. And the same. And according to Zach, he says he's not buying that. He says skipping a redesign makes sense when there's an influx of customers looking to upgrade, and when a bold re-imaging or a reimagining of the iPhone is due next year. He says making it an ongoing strategy when the high end of the smartphone market is nearing saturation does not. So basically, he's saying that this is the right move in a business sense. And that's likely a big part of the reason that Apple's stock recovered so quickly yesterday, because Apple's stock took a dive because all this press was coming out saying the iPhone 7 was going to be a big yawn, and it wasn't going to be as much as. But according to him, he's not buying it.
Yeah, the big yawn, that's a lot, and like there's part of the tech industry that is like, and admittedly, it's probably the ones that really want to sell advertising, that they're like, we want something from Apple that is new, innovative, crazy. The 3.5 millimeter jack gone. We want the phone to beam television broadcast directly into your brain, and it's going to be amazing. Like, they want the big stuff, and when Apple doesn't deliver, then they go on and they lampoon them. They say, Apple, nothing new, boring, why bother? Just stick with the iPhone you have, or even consider jumping ship to another brand. And then there's the other part that says, okay, guys, come on, play it safe. Don't go saying here it's a phone. And Apple phones have been very successful. Stick with what works, and we'll do incremental until it's better than anything else out there. So it's like the two sides are at war with each other, and I gotta say, I'm kind of on the side of the first one. Admittedly, I don't have advertisers to sell, although this show is brought to you by Summer Utilities. But I do want to say that I wish Apple was more innovative than just incremental changes.
He also says he also points out that 2017 is going to be the 10th anniversary of the original iPhone. So
you'd think they do something special for the 10th instead of just the same thing we've been doing for 3 years.
Well, basically, there are reports that it'll sport a nearly edgeless OLED display with no home button. Touch ID will be embedded right into the new iPhone model's display. There are a lot of rumors, but we might not see that until 2017. I guess we just won't know until September, when all this comes.
Right. To wrap up this article real quick, this one little paragraph here saying that Zach Epstein, again, saying that, long story short, releasing a second S series in 2016 is the right move for in a business sense, and that's likely a big part of why the Apple stock has recovered so quickly. So they're saying that Apple, even though it's not shocking, get headlines, amazing, blow your mind, it's still the S series, the 6S Plus and the 6S. They are very well received phones. They're very, they're very solid phones, and they're saying just stick with it and do innovative later.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe good advice. All right.
Maybe. All right. So, how how about we move on to something a little bit more fun, because Apple is okay, but how about we move on to okay, this is a game called Overwatch. I've talked about it on the show before. It's currently one of my main addictions. I don't go to rehab just yet because I've only played, like a very small amount. I only played like 50 hours on it, so I still got some time before I check myself into rehab. But there is, there are claims sometimes that when you're really, really good, people claim that you're hacking, saying that no one's that good. You're using aimbotting, you're DDoSing, whatever the heck they think you're doing. The main one in Overwatch, because it is a first-person shooter, and most people use something called an aimbot, and essentially it scans your game, and whenever there is whenever the game says that there is a unit on screen, which is pretty easy for these programs to identify when there is, it will automatically move the cursor to that person. And no human can be that good as an aimbot. So here we have a story. This is a teen responds to Overwatch naysayers with a live skill display. So, and this is Mr. John Fingus from Engadget saying that be careful when you accuse someone of using game hacks. So, of course, if you're good enough at a video game, people claim that you're cheating. So, of course, what do you do? Like I said, do you talk smack back to them saying that they're really, really bad, or do you just say, whatever, and just continue on with your life? Well, a 17-year-old Korean pro gamer, emphasis on Korean because they're usually the best pro gamers, you prove you're clean to the whole world. When two rivals accused her of using hacks to dominate Overwatch, she didn't just get her name cleared by Blizzard. She went to game broadcaster InVen and live streamed an hour-plus play session demonstrating that, yes, she's just that skilled. So, put up or shut up, and she absolutely did it.
Wow.
So, yeah, here, I'm actually going to put... and, of course, the whole video is about an hour long, but, I'm just going to throw that up there while I finish this article. But, of course, it wasn't a perfect showcase, all the more proof that the player was honest, but it was enough. And those two accusers, they vowed to quit the pro gaming scene if it turned out that she was above board, and they were true to their word. They both quit. Put up or shut up, and they both quit. So this doesn't mean that everything is sunshine and roses. Of course, she faces a lot of stress from being falsely accused, because if you're a pro gamer and you're accused of cheating, you have sponsors and whatnot, and that is a huge, huge problem. So it shows that you should always think twice before you say something, before you say someone is playing dirty. So in the era of Twitch streams, that can easily call your bluff. So, I thought the game was very, very interesting because I'm sorry, I thought the article was very, very interesting because there's always rumors that you are cheating, that you aren't that good, that's you're aimbotting or whatnot, and they get thrown out, I think, kind of passé. But I guess it takes on a whole new life when you are a pro gamer, because that's how you make your living.
It's interesting, like things like Twitch have dispelled so many of these casual accusations, because now they can you can back it up. They're actually
right. And again, I think for 99% of the gaming population, whenever you get accused of this or you accuse someone else of it, nothing ever comes from it. But when you have sponsors that you have to appease, and these sponsors, they give you money based on the fact that you are really good at the game, and you are doing it all yourself. And when someone accuses you of this, InVen, for those of you who don't know, it's primarily a Korean gaming talk show kind of deal, but it's live streamed over the internet, and it's massively popular. So she essentially took it to CNN of like the gaming world and did a live streaming session for all of the naysayers.
Mhm.
So she put up.
Yeah, she did.
That was cool.
It was. It's very cool. And not as many things in life where you can, where you can actually vindicate yourself like that. But with this technology, it's allowing people to do this. Yeah, look, I did this, and you want to see me do it? Here's how I did it. Exactly.
Pretty much. It's it's not like, oh, you're gonna walk up to Ian McKellen and say, I don't think you can really shoot fireballs out of your fingers like Gandalf can, and you're like, oh. Yeah, well, I'm going to go over to Sports Center and I'm going to show everyone my fireball powers. No, it's in video game, you can cheat. There are definitely cheaters, and it's actually pretty popular. But it's good to see that someone is actually just that good and not just cheating.
There you go. All right. All right. I know that you are a Chrome advocate.
Well. I use Chrome because I'm heavily invested in the Chrome ecosystem. I don't know about advocate because, again, like we were just talking with Charles Tendell, you sacrifice a lot of privacy for that.
Yeah, I mean, things change. I mean, right now, it all depends, at least for me, it all depends on the suite of abilities that a browser has. If there's something that's new, or I think, oh, that's really cool, and it's good enough, it'll give me reason to switch browsers. Quite frankly, I have Chrome and I have Safari and I have Firefox all on my computer. I have them all here, and they're not, but maintained. But right now, I'm pretty much still with Firefox. So when I read this article from CNET from Rick Broids, he says, improve laptop battery life by switching from Chrome to Firefox. Evidently, the results are in again. Chrome consumes more power than other browsers. And so basically he goes on to talk about, how you make the switch to Firefox. But
yeah, I remember watching the video of this. Well, no, not that one. There was one about the PC running Microsoft Edge that lasted longer than any other laptop.
Yeah.
And that was, of course, put out by Microsoft. So, there's a lot of funny things you can do with computers. I mean, heck, at the most basic level, you could start PCs out with, smaller batteries, less powerful batteries, and just say, oh, this one lasted, 30% longer. So I guess this is in, I guess this is in response to that.
Well, here's the thing. Microsoft Microsoft talked about bragging about Edge, as you mentioned, but and it is they're saying it's vastly superior to Internet Explorer, but basically it's lacking the one key ingredient, and that is support for third-party extensions. However, one of the things Edge keeps
you think they'd have that lick by now? It's almost been a year.
Yeah, and I think what's taking them so long is because they're not encouraging developers to make extensions for their browser. They're taking a whole different road. They're saying Edge will use extensions for other browsers without having to modify them. And if they do that and they pull that off, they would be the first browser to ever do that. So, and that means you would have all the extensions and plugins from all the other browsers would work with with Microsoft Edge, but they still haven't pulled it off.
Nope.
So that seems to be the thing. But anyway, if you are a Chrome user and what
this article is talking about again is that Chrome, Chrome is a memory hog, like RAM hog and all, and computer resource hog. That if you have, let's say, I don't get these kind of people, but there's some people out there that will have 100 tabs open at one time. I can't imagine it. Like, I keep 10 open at a maximum, and I quickly close that down. I try to keep 3 or 4. But if you have like over 20 or 30 tabs open, Chrome will eat up almost all of your system resources, because each one of those tabs is its own instance of a browser. Like, they're all sandboxed from one another so that one doesn't crash the other and that you lose all your work. Yeah. So by this kind of little bit of programming, sure, the stability of Chrome is a little bit better, but the power consumption is vastly worse. I mean, is vastly worse. You get horrible performance, and in fact, there are cases that people like their computers just flat out speed up when they switch away from Chrome.
Well, here's the thing about add-ons or plugins. I downloaded a plugin recently for my Firefox, and I didn't think much about it because I thought it was really cool. Basically, when the plugin
was it the Cloud to Bud app?
Huh?
Was it the Cloud to Bud app?
No.
Yeah, have you ever heard about that one?
No, I have not.
That one took the world by storm. The Cloud to Butt app was an extension you can download for Firefox or Chrome. You can still get it. And a couple years ago, everyone talked about the cloud. Like I know now, like today's comparison would be like the Internet of Things.
Mm-hmm.
But like everyone was using the cloud. It's like, oh, we host on the cloud, we do this on the cloud, business on the cloud, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone created an extension that went viral that replaced every instance of the word cloud, and it replaced it with the word butt, B-U-T-T. And it's so people would install this and then they forget about it and they'd be reading a story and it's like, and then the Thunderbutt, and it was like, what? And yeah, that went viral for some reason.
Well, the one that I downloaded was a little bit more practical.
Okay.
That basically, when any website would go to, it would find either promo codes or coupons for shopping, on a website. So, as you know, sometimes you go and you want to buy something, it'll say, "Do you have a promo code entered here?" It will go out and actually find some of the promo codes to do that. Well, or coupons. And I'd forgotten I installed it. And so one of the things that we do here on Computer America is that, I usually get a number of news stories, and I open up maybe 5, 6, 7, 10 tabs with the news stories in anticipation of them and have them ready to go. Well, all of a sudden I noticed, that it was taking an enormous amount of time for each page. It would sit there and churn and churn. And finally, it dawned on me that this extension that I had downloaded a few days ago was interfering. It was checking all these news stories things for coupons or discounts codes, and it brought the whole thing down to a crawl. So, and I had totally forgotten that I had downloaded it. So finally, I saw that, and I turned it off, disconnected, got rid of it, and everything was up and running again. But you have to be careful, that you get these things. If you're opening more than several tabs at a time for whatever reason, these plugins can affect the functionality of you.
Right.
So
Well,
be careful. Yeah.
Well, here's one that my immaturity highly recommends. It's called Cloud to Butt Plus, and it replaces all text with the cloud with butt. So if you're looking for something that will confuse people who use your laptop, I highly recommend it. It's works very, very well, very, very efficiently, and yeah.
All right.
I a little bit of free software that we recommend here on Computer America every once in a while.
Yeah.
I feel like this should go up on the free software page.
We should probably put it there. Absolutely.
We should definitely put it there. All right. So, assuming all of you are out there downloading that app, let us move on to another one. And here's something that I've been following kind of closely. I think it is the future, and I think that a lot of people, if given the choice, they would freely make this one. And it's something that we should keep a close eye on. But a Silicon Valley, and not only should we keep a close eye on it, but also be very skeptical because what someone claims, because this is like a holy grail search. Because if anyone is successful, they're going to make a lot of money, and they're going to get very, very famous. So be very skeptical of this. But this one from NPR, and Silicon Valley's bloody plant burger smells, tastes, and sizzles like meat. So this is a completely vegetarian-based burger that looks, cooks, and does and tastes like hamburger meat, but it's all plant-based. And again, why that matters is that I think, given the choice, a lot of us are carnivores, and a lot of, quite a few of us are vegetarians. But I feel like the people that are, that eat meat freely they don't do it because they hate cows. They don't do it because, they think that cows are just here to be eaten. They do it because, they're delicious and it's a completely viable source of nutrients. So if someone were to replace that, I think, a lot of people out there would be perfectly fine to stop killing cows for meat and eating something that's plant derived that tastes, smells, cooks exactly like meat. Because who wants to kill a cow?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people.
So does it? Really?
So this article, again from NPR, and Miss Lindsay Hoshaw. So, of course, this is from Silicon Valley. It's obviously a startup, and it's the brainchild of former Stanford biochemist Patrick Brown and his research team at Northern California-based Impossible Foods. So, of course, the startup's goal is, like many in Silicon Valley, to create a product that will change the world. So, of course, the article goes into some, they're saying that the article goes into some huge numbers, talking about that the global meat production is expected to, increase by 612,000 tons, or about 1% this year alone.
Wow.
So, we're talking about huge numbers here. So, Impossible Foods. Oh, and I know we're coming up on break, but Impossible Foods has developed a burger that they say is less resource intensive, healthier, and eventually cheaper to produce than red meat.
Well, why don't we pick this up on the flip side of the half hour? Okay.
Flip side.
Yeah. This is
Nice pun.
This is the Computer America Show. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission of Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is to help build a sustainable, no-kill community where no dogs or cats are ever killed for population control, where true euthanasia is reserved only for animals who are irremediably suffering, or for animals who are truly a threat to society and with no hope of rehabilitation. Brother Wolf's staff and volunteers go door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to educate citizens about local resources available for at-risk pets and to help their families connect with those resources. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy, happy, and in their homes and out of the local shelter system in the first place. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation to this wonderful 501c3 organization, visit their website at www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Why does global warming all have to happen in my yard? Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the August Home front door devices. August sent their smart home setup. The app-activated Bluetooth-linked deadbolt is nice. It's our favorite in that the outside deadbolt keyed cylinder is unchanged and everything can still work manually. We don't find Bluetooth in an app any easier than a key on a keyring, but many people do. The second piece is their Wi-Fi linked doorbell cam, which rings on the handset where you can see who's there, have a two-way chat, and unlock the door if you choose to. The third piece is a keypad that's a front door alternative to having a key or their app and a code. We tried a dozen times to get it configured and it wouldn't, so can't tell you. Bottom line, August Home products represent some of the leading edge of current smart home products and answer many user wishes. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. It is 33 minutes past the hour in our second hour as we are doing computer and technology news. And yeah, we are dead in the middle of this, of Silicon Valley's bloody plant burger, which, even though it has the word bloody in it, that just means that it is supposed to be reminiscent of red meat, even though it is completely plant derived, which is a holy grail. So, so just kind of skipping forward, a little bit, talking about the reporters were there. They were there for a tasting, and they said that the taste was unreal when they tried the mini burger slathered in vegan mayo, mashed avocado, and caramelized onions with Dijon mustard, which sounds a little dramatic, but whatever. The reporter said that they were floored. The flavor was slightly less potent than meat, but the author didn't already know this burger was made from plants. They wouldn't have guessed. The texture was just like ground beef. The taste was close enough that, again, if you didn't know, you'd be fooled by it. And the smelled just like a burger.
Wow.
So they had, and they said that they used this by cooking it in a gas. They cooked the meat in a gas chromatography mass spectrometry spectrometry machine. Science is hard. That's the whole reason I'm not a scientist right now, folks, is that I can't say these large words. So, which smell good when it be cooked? No. Okay. So, which separates thousands of compounds. Then they sniffed the meat via a tube so they could identify the specific individual components of that meat scent. They said that, they ran into thousands of different kinds of scents, and they have derived these and, injected it, or, kind of mixed in the chemical compounds as they grow and produce the meat. So, or I'm gonna say meat, but again, it's not actually from an animal. So they said that all of this, they really worked on getting all five senses to make it look, smell, taste, feel, everything like ground beef. And he says that they've called it a home run. So
Really.
Yep. And and the article goes on for a bit saying that the market really is in demand for something like this because, again, our current demand for meat products, even with all of the research that shows that we should be eating less meat and, meat only occasionally, more veggies, more this, more that, the demand for meat is only rising. So something like this is obviously going to be very, very crucial to feeding a population that has such a demand for meat, that if you can replace it with something that is plant derived, it would be a huge benefit. So of course, they said that they've already started leasing a 67,000 square foot manufacturing facility in Oakland to ramp up production, but as with most of these things, because they are millions of dollars in research go into these, you get things like burgers costing $30,000 because they aren't mass produced, like a McDonald's burger is. So they're starting with, again, the 67,000 square foot facility and working their way from there.
Wow.
But I hope to see this in market because, again, the moment I see on a store shelf that it says, taste, look, smells, cooks, acts completely like ground beef, but we didn't have to hurt a single animal in the production of it,
You're buying it?
I would never go back.
Yeah, exactly. Is it cost competitive to beef? I mean, is it the price?
Well, again, all the research that goes into this, the first few burgers are, cost $30,000 because you spend all that money, developing the thing. But with hopefully better manufacturing, which is again why they have the huge facility in Oakland now, they're hoping to bring that cost down. Because what happens in a lab where you produce, let's say 15 kilograms or 25 pounds of beef for a couple $1,000s, that's not exactly viable. You have to scale it up. And let's face it, red meat in this country has been scaled up. There are states that are just solid wall-to-wall cows to feed, our demand for red meat. So the scales are completely different from what's already available and what this is, but they're going to start better producing this. So, I hope it's cost competitive.
Well, the author says that he was floored when he tried it. But
Exactly. Yeah. The reporters, one of them even called himself a cheeseburger connoisseur, which I don't know what that means, but obviously it means he enjoys cheeseburgers, so what have you. But yeah, they said it's healthier, doesn't hurt animals, all that kind of stuff, and yeah,
all right,
good stuff.
I really hope they make it happen. All right, so here's a question for you, Ben. If you have somebody, let's say a really top line professional gamer, who's really good at what he does, and you compare this person, with his counterpart. Let's say he's really great at auto racing, games, and you compare that gamer.
I thought you were going somewhere a little more drastic with it. Like, let's see, the best NFL Madden player versus the best football player.
No. But you do
it's well, one's a 5'4" Caucasian, white male, and the other one is a 7'6" behemoth of a football player.
No, but let's say you're really good at race car driving games, and what would happen if you pitted that professional race car gamer with an actual race car professional?
So you're saying which would do it, the one with real life experience or the one with way more experience in a virtual setting of the exact same activity?
Which I think poses an interesting question, and evidently people want to find out the answer to that question, because evidently, according to Engadget, they're going to pit drivers against gamers. Formula E will pit drivers against gamers in a virtual race, and the initial test run is going to be taking place at CES in 2017 in Las Vegas. So basically, he goes on to say, this is by Daniel Cooper, he goes on to say that, the joys of motorsport are in watching the perfect fusion of mechanical engineering and human ingenuity, right? Well, evidently not, as Formula E's leaders have decided that the competition will now expand to include virtual races. So basically, they had an interview with Formula E chief who said that the competition's first battle, which will take place at CES in 2017 Vegas, the event will put professional race drivers against pro gamers, duking it out on the simulators with a track that won't be disclosed until the actual day. The action may be imagined, but the stakes are high, with a victorious driver in line to win a $1 million payoff. So this isn't just fun and games; it's serious money.
$1 million. That's that's something to really take seriously.
Yeah. Now, evidently, it's a one-off, but the move opens the door to ever closer union between sports and its electronic counterpart. They believe that esports is a huge opportunity that his organization wants to be immersed in. It's also a chance to determine who is better, professional drivers or the gamers who maybe haven't had the same opportunities. Formula E is also investigating the potential for virtual drivers to compete in real-world races as they're going on.
See, and I think that after playing video games as long as I've had, I know that I can beat a lot of people in something, let's say like a Halo, where you take a weapon and you shoot it and blah blah blah. But when if you stuck me out there with with a rifle, I would be one of the worst people out there on the range that day. So putting people, but by the same token, someone who's just exclusively, let's say, shot skeet or was a hunter their whole life and just used real life guns, if you put them in a game against myself where you have to use virtual guns, I would win hands down. That's not even a contest. So I feel like if this is going to have any semblance of competitiveness, then the racers who drive the real life cars are going to have to spend some serious time on video games just to get their setting. Like, they can't just walk in blind. And if they are going to do this the opposite way, then the video gamers are going to have to spend some serious time in actual race settings because they're similar, they're based off of one another, but they are nowhere near a one-to-one comparison.
So even
I completely expect that the pro virtual racers are going to trounce the legit, I'm going to say legitimate, but the real life racers.
Yeah, you really do. Okay, because it's interesting because it says the time where the potential for virtual drivers to compete in real world races as they're going on, that technology is still far away. It seems like being a mere spectator won't be an option in the future. He kind of wraps up the story.
Yeah, but I think there he's talking a little bit about putting people behind the wheel virtually. You know how we already have self-driving cars. Well, have a car that could be virtually piloted from elsewhere in the world, and then you would have someone who would be driving in person, and you would have someone driving virtually.
Yeah,
that would be interesting to see.
Yeah. It opens up an interesting question though. But you're convinced that the real life
whichever one you take the element out of, the other one will win. So if you take a video gamer, put him in the real life, the real life racer is going to win. If you take a real life and you put him in a video game setting, the video gamer is going to win. They're not one to one. What would be a better showing of skill would be if you had two identical cars and one you could pilot with a video game controller, and had cameras and all that kind of thing, and the other one you put in a car, with himself. That would be a better display of skill.
Yeah,
where they're both in their element.
Yeah, I really do think that although the simulation it's of the real life thing, I think that the real life driver is going to be better at the real life application, and the gamer is going to be better at the simulation. And I think that's how it's going to watch out.
And
if the gamer and put him in a real car and said, "Okay, now go around the track," I think it would be disastrous.
Pretty much, it's but. Again, it's more of a publicity stunt because CES is all about getting headlines as much as you can, and $1 million prize pool if you had any question. But still, Formula E is trying to hype it up. So I
say kudos to them for making it or putting it together. I think, yeah. But Ben and I are in agreement. I think each professional will. Stand out.
It's the same. Well, it's a slight take on a different argument that's been, that's happened since the beginning of video games. Was that with video games, and I also remember it from not Magic, but there was a card game where actually it might have been Magic, where they took the creator of the game who started with the original decks and everything like that, and I think it was Magic. But they took the creator of the game who, started with all the cards, knew what he was intending to, for the cards to do, he intended what the best play style was, and they pitted him against the best player in the world.
Yeah.
And that was a question of who's better, someone who has played, practiced, and come into this, kind of wanting to, or is the person who created, intended, and knows all of the quote unquote supposed secrets of it. Who is the better player?
Who won?
And in that particular one, I think it was Magic the Gathering, and I'm pretty sure the best player in the world, not the creator of the game, but the best player in the world won like the best out of 5 series.
Wow.
So it just shows that even though you may be able, even though you may create the thing, even though you may do it in real life, that doesn't mean that in the representation of it, that someone isn't going to spend a lot more time and be a lot more dedicated for what you've created.
Yeah. It sounds like
different take on the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, I thought it was interesting.
It was an interesting story. So let us go on to how about Netflix? Netflix, within a week, they'll have new additions to their library, and a part of their library will be falling off because they usually set up so that at the beginning and end of every month, or at least throughout the month, certain titles come in or leave. They kind of want to keep it fresh. So this is a list, and we're gonna pick it apart for July 2016. What are some of our favorites of that are going to be coming and going. So as always, Back to the Future, Craig.
Yeah.
If you're a fan
I was.
of Michael J. Fox and all the Back to the Future series, July 1st, part 1, 2, and 3 will be hitting Netflix.
Very cool.
On July 1st.
Mhm.
Beverly Hills Cops, I'm sure a lot of you like that. Catwoman, sorry, that's coming on too. It is what it is.
Cinderella Man was actually a good movie. Cinderella Man is actually a good movie.
I had not seen that one.
Yeah.
I had not seen that one. So the entire Lethal Weapon series, Lethal Weapon 1 through 4 is going to be hitting Netflix. This is again July 1st. Marco Polo season 2, Marco Polo season 1 was very, very successful. So I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to that, as well as Scooby-Doo, the original one, Raiders of the Lost Ark season 2. Just some nice stuff.
Video classics, Working Girl, 1988. That's also an excellent. That had Harrison Ford in it.
Yep. BoJack Horseman season 3, love it. That's coming out there soon. And again, this entire list is available out there at CNET, where they've curated this entire thing. But leaving, this is also important, because what's coming, always cool. But what's leaving July 1st? 2001: A Space Odyssey, A Clockwork Orange, A League of Their Own. All these movies are leaving Netflix. So it's important to check, especially at the beginning and end of every month, that if you have been meaning to watch something and you put it on your list, that's come next month it may not even be available anymore. So it's always good to check these lists to make sure that what you want to watch is still going to be there next month.
Yeah.
So they have all the Star Trek movies. So Star Trek 1 motion picture, Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, The Voyage Home. All the Star Trek movies are leaving Netflix come July 1st. Yeah. They have a lot of them, so please check it out. But hey, Back to the Future, that's a really good really good get for Netflix.
Yes, it is.
Well, Back to the Future and the entire Lethal Weapon series.
Yeah.
As well as a couple of their own original stuff. So.
All right.
Oh, and also the original Batman, the movie, 1966 release.
That's 66. Oh yeah, okay, that's
Batman 1966. Was that what's his face? Adam West?
Yes, Adam West.
Yeah.
That's goes way
you can see that in all of its glory.
We have a little time here to do a couple more. This is a story again from Gadget. Roost has been around for a while, and we wanted to let you know about, because obviously the Internet of Things is here now, and we're finding all kinds of ways we can use the Internet of Things. Roost is making a smart water detector. It monitors your home for wet spots. This thing's about the size of a hockey puck, but it's oval in shape, and basically you just put it on the floor. Let's say you put it in your basement, you put someplace where you really want to monitor, because Roost also makes smart smoke alarms and smoke detector batteries, basically. But evidently, this next series is called the Roost Smart Water and Freeze Detector. They use the same core components as their smart battery. The system adds a water leak sensor, a temperature sensor, and a humidity sensor to your existing Wi-Fi setup, and can alert you to things like water leaks or frozen pipes, that type of thing.
And I hate that I do this like every time we talk about new gadgets, but what I saw at CES at the beginning of the year, which is really what we're going to be seeing, throughout the year and into next year, but I saw a lot of companies that were dedicated to making, like, the idea of the smart home doesn't just end at Charles Tendell and his smart refrigerator. It doesn't just end at the smart thermostat. There are companies that any part of your house is going to be connected to the internet. And there were companies out there, although I don't remember seeing Roost out there, but they wanted to have professionals come out to your house and install their products on your water main, on your water meter, and on all of your water components, including your irrigation system. And they would be sensing everything, so that if there is a water leak, if there was a water kind of clog somewhere along the way, if your yard was getting too dry, if it was any of these possible things, there's a company out there ready to spring a product on you that will automate that whole process. And although it's coming very, very slowly, as we're seeing, we're just talking about the Roost and with their apps, do not be shocked that in 5 to 10 years, almost every big brand name company out there, and a lot of the companies that you've never even heard of, they're expecting to turn your entire house into a giant smart, community.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't stop at the fridge. It doesn't stop at the appliances. It doesn't stop at the thermostat. It doesn't stop at your front door. It's going to be every single thing.
It kind of all started with the thermostat. If you had to go back and find out where the Internet of Things started,
it either started with the thermostat or it started with home security, where you put up webcams around your house.
Yeah. Although I think home security has really in a different category.
Well, I mean, they're internet connected, or I'm sorry, they were internet connected. So, and like the technology to check your home security system from home, from your browser, or from work from your browser, I think that was the beginning of connecting things to the internet and seeing them anywhere.
Possibly, although the thermostat's right up there, because the thermostat is different from home security in the sense that it really was a single item that had never been associated to the Internet of Things, whereas a remote monitoring of cameras.
The thermostat definitely took very kindly to a smartphone and an app setting and being able to just pull it out and control something around the world.
Yeah. I mean, security cameras have been around for years. I mean, the 80s and 70s.
You're right. I think they have been around for years. I would say those are the beginning of the Internet of Things and the smart home.
Yeah.
Just because they've been there forever doesn't mean that they aren't the first.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a toss-up, but it could be. Anyway, Roos says that you'll be able to set up the system in less than 5 minutes, assuming that your Wi-Fi is all set, and the device ships basically in the fall of this year for an economical $49, and it'll just drop it in your basement or wherever, and it will monitor your water freeze and water leakage. Very, very cool. You can get right on your smartphone. Just thought we would mention that, and it is available. It'll be available in the next couple of months. I had actually never heard of Roost before, so I'd heard of Honeywell and all the other ones, but I had not heard of Roost. But now,
again, there's going to be a lot of companies that I think a lot of our listeners haven't heard about, but there are companies that are going to be dedicated to smartifying your water, smartifying your gas, smartifying your electricity. All of this stuff is going to be very quickly invading your home. So get used to the idea.
Yeah. Do you have time to do one more story or a short one, or
I think I do. And you know what? Let us go on over to there are a lot of really great articles that I think Charles Tendell would have liked, but we just don't have time for those. So how about a Samsung 50-inch smart television just went on sale on Amazon. So this falls under the category of latest products, but this is one of the most highly rated Samsung television, and they price from anywhere from $150,000 to $15,000. And yeah, so now we have the Samsung UN50J5000 50-inch 1080p LED TV. It's a killer 4.3 star rating on Amazon from about 800 customers, so highly rated by a lot of customers, and it just went on sale for less than $500.
Wow.
$497.99. Wow. So it has a DTS premium surround sound, full 1080 HD 1080p, USB port for your own music, videos, and photos, and HDMI input and output, as well as a really, really nice picture.
But it's not a 4K TV.
But it's not 4K. It's not 4K, and I think there are smart features, but it may not be strictly smart in the fact that it has its own user interface. But hey, it's a Samsung television, 50-inch for $500. That's really, really nice.
Yeah, exactly. But don't discard some of the discount, or not discount, considered to be economical TVs like Vizio. I mean, they're doing.
I don't think Vizio is considered economic anymore.
Yeah, I mean they started out that way, but no longer.
They're strongly entrenched in the mainstream now.
Yeah, They make some beautiful TVs. Well, that wraps it up again for the show. Don't forget that tomorrow's program is going to be a best of show Thursday, and but then we'll be back Friday live again, and we're going to have Nathan Evans. He is the managing editor of Pop Sarah magazine, and again, always a welcome guest. He's one of our correspondents.
Be sure. Well, yeah, and also on Friday, be sure
90 seconds.
be sure to expect that we're going to be covering E3 as well as other, kind of pop culture things that have been happening since he was on last, which a lot has happened.
Yes, it has, and he's going to be joining us for both hours of the show, and we look forward to having him on the program. Of course, we'll also, don't forget, we'll have our social media winner of the week. We're not forgetting that. So if you haven't registered, head over to computeramerica.com and register for our social media giveaway. It's really simple to do. You just have to do it once,
seconds.
and you can have up to 5 entries every single week. Again, I want to thank Charles Tendell for being with us here in the first hour of the show, and hopefully you will we'll have him back as well on the program. In the meantime, have a great day, and Ben and I will see you here, same time, same place, same station. We just have this one day off, and then we'll be back with you on Friday. So
we promise we'll be back. We won't break your hearts.
So until Friday afternoon, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you Friday.
Have a good one, everyone.
Bye-bye. Have a little woohoo. There you go.
10 seconds. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, again, everybody, thanks for watching our live video stream. And I said Ben and I will be back on Friday live. We'll have a best of show tomorrow, and I think it's going to be with Marcel Gagne. It'll be one of our Linux shows, and then we'll be back tomorrow on Friday. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye, everybody.